Their education falls apart. Their society falls apart, all because they didn't have the scriptures. So when Mosiah shows up, he has the plates of brass, and they are so excited. They're like, and he fixes their language. He gets them so they're all speaking the same language. Instead of an oral history, they have a written history. All of these aspects of culture and civilization get introduced because of the scriptures. So I kind of use that as a springboard. I'm just curious, by a show of hands, just so I don't repeat stuff that people already have like heard a million times, how many people have seen this one already? I know that we're still like, okay, so there's enough people that haven't. That's good. Okay. But I'm going to add more. So hopefully if you go watch the podcast, it's on YouTube, it's free. I'm going to cover stuff today that's not in the podcast, but it's kind of like another layer that's just been a lot on my mind. So again, this is what we kind of get into on the podcast. In brief, in the podcast, I talk a little bit about how, if we're going to answer this question of, did Judeo-Christian culture create the problems of oppression and racism and slavery and everything today? Now, a lot of you in this room, because I'm speaking to this audience, are probably going to be like, no, I already don't believe that. But how do you defend that argument, and how do you do it in an intelligent way and in a way that is understanding, like, from God's perspective of history? And I've gotten a few comments on the podcast. Some people keep telling me not to use the term Judeo-Christian because they don't like the fact that I use the word Judeo. They're like, only Christian. I'm going to continue using the word Judeo-Christian because you need both the Christian foundation that came after Jesus Christ, but also the Jews. If you remember in 2 Nephi, where the Lord rebukes us in our day and he says, have you remembered the Jews? Have you cared about their sufferings? Have you cared about their sacrifices? Anyway, I don't want to offend people that are kind of frustrated that I'm using that term, but yes, we have Judeo-Christian roots, and you need both. You need Judah and Joseph together, the two sticks, to be able to gather Israel in the last days.